In the final part, in part 6, I just want to explain to you what you can do if you want this system or this approach to work for you too. Obviously, you've got to allow for some guidance and some counseling or mentoring in your program if you've decided you want to change, you want to become healthy again. And you've got to learn to speak an emotional language, because our feelings are emotions and they're often a learned behavior. So it's like a language that you've got to relearn. Or it might be a new language for you that you've got to learn for the first time. First of all, you've got to decide if you want to take medication. You've got to make up your mind. If you want them to assist you with medication, then stick with them and stick to the program that they've given you. But you still have to apply from your side. You've got to do the work and wean yourself off the medication. So once you've made up your mind, stick to the plan. Don't chop and change all the time, but you should evaluate as you go along. I just couldn't go on for 12, 14 years as I have in the same way. I had to make a change because it wasn't helping. Don't be stupid. If after 3, 4, 5, 6 months or a year nothing's changed, it would be idiotic to keep doing the same thing and expect it to have a different outcome. I soon realized that medications are not a fix. It's not a fix for mental problems. It's not a fix for depression, and it definitely does not help with panic attacks. So go for a full medical check. Get the checkup and make sure you don't have a heart problem, that you're not suffering from some form of disease or illness, some cancer or something which is that serious physically. Okay, I'm not downgrading your mental problems, but first find out that there's nothing physically wrong, because you don't want to die from a heart attack if you can have it picked up properly now. Then you've got to admit that you've got a challenge or a problem. You've got to be honest with yourself. Then you must decide, do you really desire to be happy? Do you really desire to have a change in your life? It's a decision. You've got to decide to be that way. People aren't just happy by themselves. It's a decision they make. Then at least you've got to be capable of distinguishing between the times that you are sad and the times when you're feeling happy. You know, if it's just all the same for you, it means that you're so run down already that you can't distinguish between your emotions, and that needs some serious attention. Then I've given you some practical steps already. You've got to implement this action. You've got to take these steps. You've got to make changes. You've got to do these exercises. You've got to change your diet. You've got to get rid of the things that actually make you feel that way. And you've got to modify the way you think of something. You know, I think the most terrible thing is that psychiatry and psychology and all of these things, they try to get people to change the way they think of bad events. And this to me is just utter rubbish. How can you teach a girl that's been raped to make that unpleasant event to something acceptable in her mind? You should say that it's wrong, it's disgusting, it's disgraceful, it's not her fault, but the other person is at fault. And if you can get that into your thinking, you'll have a definite improvement in any case. So. Then also check at the source where you take advice from. Don't take advice from broke, horrible, negative people. Take good advice from people that have your best interests at heart, though. So feelings have to be sorted out, and then also do the things that prolong the feeling of goodness and limit the things that make you feel bad. So what I'm saying, to balance the depression, go for a walk, read good books, listen to good music, go on trips, play games, find a hobby, do all the nice things that will balance your life out a bit better than it has before. Okay. We've got to also fight the feelings of depression. Don't go into a constant fight, but be aware of it when you're feeling bad, and decide and talk to yourself in your mind as well, not to react and feel that way. Chemical imbalances, this is the one thing I obviously always get though. People want to know what they can do if the doctor tells them that the cause of their depression is a chemical imbalance in their brain. Now it's true to say that they have a chemical imbalance in their brain, but many times it's the easiest way of explaining to people in layman's terms. What I find, you get depression and then your body changes and you get a chemical imbalance in your brain. But medicine wants to say, because you have the chemical imbalance in your brain, that makes you depressed, and it's wrong. I say the depression creates an imbalance in the fluids in your brain, which is a huge step and change in thinking, which they just haven't been either willing to accept or haven't been able to do yet. Though you've got to increase your confidence levels. Keep doing something. Every little victory you get needs to build you up. Okay, I just want to read you something that some people have written here to me, and let me just find it quickly. Just some people have written back to me, and you might find it useful as well. Here's a lady, Angie Collins from Sweden, wrote back to me. She says, ever since I can remember, I had some form of depression or negative feelings. I've tried many times, but I could not shake them off completely. I have heard of it being possible to do something about it yourself, but I've never been able to have such a clear and practical source that I could consult. With your help, I have finally got it now. The solution is inside of me, and I can find my answer. I needed someone else to point it out to me because I was in such a mental state of chaos. You gave me a new lease on life, and today I am so very happy. It is a feeling I have seldom before experienced. Okay, so you can really get over this by doing something practically about it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You'll have to get out there and do it for yourself. And in closing, I just want to end off with a quote from Bernard Meltzer. He says, when you forgive, you in no way change the past, but you sure can change your future. So I want to encourage you, go out there, buy this book, get yourself the DVD, listen to the CD, and go on our website, get more information, write me some emails, and I'll give you as much information back as I can. God bless, and have a pleasant life.